Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello and welcome to my dear students and my dear friends in the video lecture series conducted by the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University in a Chaitanya studio. Today we meet for the video lecture series of the program or course called the BBA regular in the subject of BBA-202 Financial Management, block number 1, Basics of Financial Management, in that unit number 4, Time Value of Money. Now let's move us to the journey of time value of money. Now question is, first of all, as we learned in the previous sessions, that is, what do you mean by the finance? What do you mean the financial management? What do you mean by the different sources are there? That is long-term source and short-term sources are there. Now let's move on to the next chapter, that is next important topic or next important unit. We can call this time value of money. First of all, let's check out the learning objective. The first learning objective, that is concept. You evaluate yourself and you understand that the concept of the future value and present value. Then meaning of the simple interest and compound interest. Then compounded value of series of the cash flow. Then present value of single amount, present value of series of cash flows, sinking fund factor and loan amortizations. Now let's check the introduction part with the help of evaluating the time value of money. In the finance, the value of money is measured in two terms, that is future value as well as present value. The future value concept is known as an interest theory. The future value is the amount of money that is original investment will be grow to be over time a specific compounded rate of interest. For example, you have invested rupees 1000 at the 4% interest for the 5 year. Then the amount which get the maturity, that is after 5 year, is known as a future value. Now how it will be calculated? That is the most important question, my dear friends. So let us check how it will be calculated. Here we give the rupees 1000 is your investment, plus you have to interest a 4% interest, that is 1000 4% is equal to 40 rupees, that is for a first year. So total you get, that is 1040. Then on the 1040 you evaluate the 4% also, then it will become 1081.60. Then you have to add another 4% on it, then you get 1123.86. Another 4% is given, then 1168.82. Another 4% added, that is 1215.57. So over the 5th period and after the 5 period or 5 year, you will be get 1215.57 rupees as you invested 1000 in a first, that is 0 year. So this is called what, my dear friends? Future value. Is it clear? This is a very simple example that how you evaluate it. The present value is the measure in today's rupee of the receipt from the future cash flow. In other words, we can say that it is a comparison of the purchasing power of the rupee today versus the buying power of rupee in a future. If the investors is estimating to receive rupees 1000 after the 2 years and interest rate is 4% in the case the present value of rupees 1000, which to be received after 2 years at a 4%, then it will be becomes, that is 962, that is 1000 into 0.962. Then the present value of rupees 1 at a 4%, which to be received after the 2 years. So 0.962 is what the ultimately your present value at rupees 1 at a 4% that you will be received. This value is available from the present value table also, and you may calculate with the help of present value interest factor formula also. This calculation are based on certain formula which can be discussed subsequently. Okay, my dear friends. Now let's start with the first important topic, that is future value. The concept of future value is a very old concept, and this concept is a conventional concept in the context of saving to be made to meet the future requirements. Under this concept, the funds are invested in a certain securities to earn interest on it, and in a present time it is used by the pensioner. And under this title, simple interest or compounded interest are calculated. In that, the main 3 points are there, that is simple interest, compounded interest, and compounded value of series of cash flow. That means in a future value, ultimately you have to determine the first concept, that is what is future value. Then after, if it is compounded interest, then you have to evaluate the 3 different interests, that is simple interest, compounded interest, and compounded value of series of cash flow. For this particular, these 3 interests are there. We evaluate some practical sums also in our next session, but here we just the theoretical portions covered. Okay. Next is, what do you mean by simple interest? Under the simple interest, the interest is calculated on the principal amount at a specified rate. To calculate the total interest, number of years are added in it. There are the 3 components to calculate the simple interest amount, and these are the principal amount, interest rate, and the number of years. Then different authors use the different variables to define the interest formula also. For this unit, the following formula is used, that is simple interest is equal to P0 multiply with I multiply with N, where SI is equal to simple interest, P0 that is your principal amount on the 0 day, I is equal to rate of interest, and N is equal to number of years. So then you will be get the simple interest. Let us examine the simple interest with this particular illustration. That is, Mr. Pankaj has deposited rupees 50,000 with X bank, and this deposit would be on 8% interest per annum. Whether this deposit is made for the period of 6 years. First, calculate the total interest receivable at the end of 6th year, and second is calculate the total future value receivable at the end of 6th year. So here we apply the first, that is simple interest is equal to your P0, SI is equal to P0 plus I into N, that is present value at a 0 day, that is 50,000, multiply with 8%, that means 0.08, then multiply with the N, that is number of year with the 6 year. So then you will be get 24,000. In the second, what are the future value receivable at the end of 6th year? Here the total interest, and next is total future value. So nothing to do, well, that you have to add a P0 in that particular year. That is FVN is equal to future value after the nth year, that is P0 plus P0 multiply with I into N. That means that whatever the 24,000 are there, you have to just add a 50,000. Then you will be get total amount of future value, that is plus interest. Yes or no, my dear friends? So ultimately the future value is nothing but the present value plus you plus your interest is equal to future value. So 50,000 plus 24,000 is your interest, then you will be get the 74,000 as a future value. Is it clear, my dear friends? Yes or no? Very good. Next, moving to the compounded interest or compound interest. Under the compound interest, interest is calculated on the principal as well as interest on. Here the interest of each year is reinvested under the simple interest, and interest of the each year is not reinvested for the remaining subsequent period, while creating of the compound interest is based on the reinvestment of interest for the remaining subsequent period. So there are the different types of cases are to be dealt in the situation of compounded interest, and all these cases are discussed as first, that is your compounded value of a single amount, then the different compounding period, then compounded value of series of cash flow. These three are the main cases where while we're determining that the compounded interest. Next point is that is present value. The present value concept is exactly opposite the future value concept. Future value is used to know the interest added to the principal amount at a given simple or compounded value interest rate and the given number of years. Under the future value concept, the amount of future value is higher than amount invested because the future value sum of principal and interest amount. The computation of present value in different situations are as follows, that is present value at a single amount and present value at a series of cash flow as we discuss in a compounded interest. Next important point, that is sinking fund. The sinking fund is a fund created to accumulate the specified amount of sum in a future by the way of regular periodical payment for some specific purpose. Basically, here the problem involves the determination of amount of annuity for the given future value after a given period at a given rate of interest, which is called a sinking fund. Is it clear, my dear friends? Yes or no? Move us to the next point, that is loan amortization. In a banking and finance, an amortizing loan is a loan where the principal of loan is paid down over the life of the loan. To determine the amount of installment, this is to be paid every year at a specific rate in a certain period. So this is called a loan amortization. And in a practical form, my dear friends, you have to evaluate the loan amortization table also. While we are calculating or evaluating this particular table, that is loan amortization table, at that point of time, you have to justify the previous all these concepts, my dear friends. That is, first is your future value, how to determine your future value, that is ultimately your principal value plus your interest. Then you have to evaluate the present value, then future value, then you have to evaluate the simple interest, compound interest, then compound value of this series of the cash flows are there. Then you have to evaluate the simple interest with this formula, that is P0 into I into N, and with that the future value is nothing but your P0 plus your simple interest. Then you determine the future value of the nth number of year for this particular illustration also. Then you determine the compounded interest, that is how it will be evaluated, that is compounded value at a single amount, then different compounding periods are also, then compounded value of the series of the cash flows also are there. Then determine the present value at a single amount, then present value at the series of the different cash flows are there. Sinking fund is a different topic, but while we are evaluating this loan amortization table, at that point of time you have to evaluate the different future values and different present value evaluation also for justification of the loan amortization table with the specific interest rate. So this is the important point while we are discussing the concept of time value of money. Time value of money is nothing but to determine whatever you invested today and what will be get you in a future. That is determination of this particular the era, or you can say the circle, that the future value to moves to the present value and present value to the future value, which is nothing but your concept of time value of money. Is it clear, my dear friends? Yes or no? So in this session we just learned the theoretical aspect of the time value of money. In the next session we evaluate some practical sum on the basis of this different sources and different terms are there, that is future value, present value, loan amortization, sinking funds are there, then compounded interest with the series of cash flows, single amount, normal amount. So these are the practical portion which can be done in a next session. So here we just conclude it with nothing but to do only and only to the with relevance to the theoretical portion of the time value of money. And for this reference, if you read more material, then you may evaluate by yourself by referring these reference books, that is Financial Management by the P.C. Tulsian and Bharat Tulsian, and Financial Management by the Ravi M. Kishore. So these are the different reference books are there. So in today's session, what we learn, my dear friends, that we learn what is the concept of time value of money, that is future value and present value, how the future value is evaluated, how the present value will be evaluated, how the different interests are there, that is simple interest, compounded interest, etc. In that compounding interest, that what are the different compounding interest are there, that is single cash flow and different series of the cash flow also, and compounding interest also. Then we determine the present value at a single amount and a series of the cash flows also. Then we define that sinking fund, then loan amortization table. So these are the different components, we can say, that in this particular chapter, that is time value of money. So in today's session, we learn all theoretical aspects of the time value of money. In next session, we move towards the practical approach of this particular components. Hope you learn well in this particular session. Hope you enjoy this session in an efficient manner, and hope you learn what is the time and what is the value and what is the money and how you determine the time value of money for your concept or for your finance or for your business or for your company or for your enterprise or for your firm. That is nothing but to evaluate the time value of money. This is the ultimate, the heart of our financial management. Hope you learn well, my dear friends. Hope you study well in this particular unit. Hope you enjoy. Hope you do well and go for this concept. Go for this video. After evaluating this, after watching this video, you just refer the study material and different source of this references are also there, and you just refer the different concepts are there. Okay. Hope you enjoy, my dear friends. Thank you very much for such an amazing session. Have a great day. Thank you.
स्वाध्यायः